Hey folks, good morning. Adrian Fontes here, getting ready to run down to work, but I wanted to talk to you very quickly about one of the tricks that the Arizona legislature is using to subvert your rights and your democracy. See, a legislative body is supposed to talk about things, they're supposed to deliberate, they're supposed to listen to input, and they're supposed to take a variety of different sides of an issue, think about them, and then pass laws. Well, they're not doing that because they have this technique that they use and they are exploiting right now in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. The Arizona legislature is using a technique to subvert your rights and to disable your ability to talk to them. It's called a striker. Now, what does that mean? Let's say you've got Bill A, and that goes through the regular process all the way through to this point in the legislative process, right? It's gone through committees, it's gone through basically floor votes in whatever chamber it starts. It goes to committees on the other side, from House to Senate, from Senate to House. So Bill A is trucking along nicely. Bill B, however, which might be complete garbage, gets killed early in the process. What does a striker do? A striker takes all of the language in Bill B that got killed and it substitutes, strikes all of what was in A and puts B on top of it. And that means Bill A doesn't exist anymore. But because they're using the same bill number and the same basic frame, they're saying, we don't need to debate this. We don't need to go through committees. We don't need to put it on the floor. We don't need to deal with it. We'll just strike everything that was debated. We'll strike everything that was discussed, and given the people whatever minor chance you might have had to have input, we're going to strike it all, and we're going to substitute this garbage that didn't make it through the process and vote on that one as if it was the original. And that's because the bill number and that framework substitutes as if the Bill B made it through, but Bill B didn't make it through. I know it's a little bit complicated, but basically it subverts all of democracy. And if you're a conservative, you've got to hate this idea. Because that means you weren't able to talk about this bill. You weren't able to put input into this bill. That means your voice is being completely ignored by the folks who you voted for. This striker methodology is bad for democracy. It is as if they are doing everything in the dark of night, behind closed doors, away from the public process. And that's bad. And that's what the Arizona legislature is doing right now. They are using striker techniques to substitute real garbage for bills that were already going through the entire process. This is not good for democracy. It's not the way government is supposed to work. It is dishonest, it is disingenuous, and they're doing it a lot right now. So if you're a conservative and you believe that your elected representatives were there to discuss issues, to debate issues, to listen to input from all sides, use facts and logic and reason, then you should be really, really upset about this. Because what they're doing is using the basically the framework, the basket for one set of language, dumping it out and filling it with language from a bill that was killed a long time ago. It's subverting democracy. Just saying the deliberations didn't matter, the committees didn't matter, none of that matters. It's called a striker. It's a technique used to subvert democracy. The Arizona legislature is using it a lot right now to substitute really, really bad legislation that got killed into stuff that's already made it through the process. I'm Adrian Fontes, and I'm bringing this tidbit to you. This is going to be a super short one this morning because your Arizona state legislature is using striker amendments to kill bills that have been discussed, whether they're good or not, and to substitute language that never made it through the process. They're basically going behind your back to make laws that you would never have approved of and that didn't make it through the regular process. That is anti-democratic. That subverts the will of the people, and it puts them in a position to do their negotiations behind the scenes, do basically kabuki theater so that, we had debates, this bill made it all the way through the process. No, it didn't. It's trickery. It's dishonest. It's disingenuous, and it shouldn't exist, but it does because the legislature wants to get stuff past you behind your backs. I'm here to protect democracy. And look, even if it's a bill that I don't agree with, if it made it all the way through the process, that's the bill they should be voting on at the end of the day, not striking all the language and putting in new language at the end of the process. That's taking advantage of the system. How is it legal, asks Suzanne Whitaker. It's legal because they get to make their own rules. It's legal because they're the ones that are manipulating the process away from public disclosure and public debate. And Republicans, conservatives who believe in facts and logic and debate and rule of the people, you should be really, really upset about this. If you're a conservative and you're okay with strikers, you don't know what you're talking about. You need to figure this out. And I just want to give you that information. This is nonpartisan information here, okay? It's not because I'm a Democrat, it's because I'm an American. And this makes me mad that a legislative body will not have debate on something and then plunk it in for something else, substituting the original language, subverting the will of the people and the ability for the people to analyze this stuff with the legislative body. Look, I got to go to work. It's getting late here in the morning in Tucson. I'll be back in Phoenix in April. Loved working up here with Pima County, wrapping some stuff up, bringing information to you because your democracy and your government processes are more important than your party affiliation. I've always believed that. It is the 5-year anniversary of my jumping into politics and filing for a political office. 5 years ago today, March 23rd, which is also my sister's birthday, was the day that I filed originally to run for Maricopa County Recorder, and I regret nothing. I've had a great time, and I've become so much stronger advocate for democracy, and every one of you, regardless of your political affiliation or your leanings, our process has to be defended. Our democracy must be protected, and that's why I'm bringing this information to you. So call your legislators, particularly if you're a conservative and you believe in popular rule and the fact that your representatives represent you, not their own interests. This process is getting subverted by the majority at the state legislature. Help us stop it. Help us make sure that our democracy is protected. Thanks so much. I'm Adrian Fontes. Y'all have a great day and a great rest of your week.